Hey everybody, Suzanne here with Caregiver Haven. So today our webinar is going to be on how to protect your seniors' health and money. Okay, these are two really big things. Now, I don't want to be a fearmonger here and think that this is going to happen to you, but I see it at least twice a week. At least twice a week, different things going on, and why the seniors' health is not protected or their money is not protected. So let's talk about the sneaky ways that these folks do or don't do or neglect your senior in their health realm, and this puts them in jeopardy. So let's see what we've got here today. Okay, what we're going to learn is the scammy vitamins and the anti-aging products out there, really not good for seniors. A lot of them have chemicals in them that are more dangerous than they're not. You really have to get pure vitamins. Actually, if truth be known, every pharmacist will tell you that whatever the label says, you're only getting 60% of what the actual product is. So that's not regulated by the FDA. I don't know why, but you're not getting the vitamins and minerals you need. You got to look for the pure ones. Full script vitamins are pure. Expensive, yes, but you're going to know what you're getting. So we're also going to talk about legal issues, and we're going to talk about the cognitive function of your senior, because seniors are targeted. You have to know that seniors are targeted with all sorts of scams, and the scams are constantly changing. So we're not going to address specific scams, but we are going to talk about how to protect your senior from them. And then having a monthly checklist, which I'll leave for you below, so you can go over every month and see that you are protecting your senior. At least you have something to work with. Okay, the rise of these miracle vitamins. Everything you see is about energy drinks. You see about vitamins. You see about minerals. Take cranberry, or take magnesium, or take this, or take that. And people spend hundreds of dollars a month on vitamins and minerals. And the supplement aisle is filled with false hope. So promises like reverse aging, cure dementia, or boost the immune system overnight, they're not only lies, they're dangerous, because we go down that rabbit hole and we don't see the other things that are healthy for us. And seniors are bombarded with these TV ads and YouTube influencers. And even friends recommend the latest pills. And they also, too, you have to understand that on the internet, when you click on something, they get your IP address. And what that means is they can see what computer this came off of. And then they start bombarding you with more and more ads. We've all seen this, or even talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden these ads start showing up in your home, whether it's on your TV or on your internet. They're very, very good at getting your IP address and your TV. They know what you're looking at. So many of these vitamins and minerals, back to them, they are unregulated, as I say, and they interact badly with medications. This is why you have to, you can go to the pharmacist, as I've talked about, safety medication checklist at product that I have for you. But you can go to the pharmacist and say, I want you to look at all these medications. But I tell you over and over again, do not forget to take in the vitamin bottle, because the ingredients in that bottle, forget the vitamin A. If there's other ingredients in that bottle besides the vitamin A, they need to know if those things are interacting with your senior's medications as well. Remember, on the bottle, it says not evaluated by FDA. So none of these vitamins and minerals are regulated. And it matters because, again, keeping your loved one healthy means no interactions with their medications. How about the anti-aging lies in the skin creams and the scams that are out there, and I guess they're called vibrators or massagers that you use on your neck and your face and all of these things. First of all, you have to understand that 95% of people will get the product and will only use it for a couple of days and put it away. And many have fake celebrity endorsements or only $5 free trials. And then you get onto a subscription and you forget all about it. And the next thing you know, you're getting these vitamins left and right. These are things that are going on all the time. Teach your senior this. If it says secret formula, it's probably a secret scam. Now, there's something else I want you to know here. It's called white labeling. So white labeling means that these anti-aging creams, okay? Let's say I have a cream, ABC cream. I go to China, I go to the factory, and I say, hey, I need you to make a cream. So they say, okay, we'll make a cream. What do you want in it? I said, I want some vitamin E and vitamin A in it. And they say, yeah, we've already got that product. And I say, well, I need you to put my label on it. And they say, okay. And that's called white labeling. So they've already got a product. They just put your label on it. I've seen this with granola bars. I've seen this with energy drinks, sodas, a lot of drinks actually, where they just put a label on it. Call it sparkling water, but it's health, fitness, and anti-aging sparkling water. And I put the caregiverhaven.com label on it, and you think, oh my gosh, that's from Caregiver Haven. That must be something I can trust. But in truth, how do you know that I just didn't go and white label it? I found somebody somewhere in the world that makes this stuff and I put my label on it. That is called white labeling, and it's very, very common in the cosmetic, anti-aging, and vitamin market. You need to know this is done with vitamins and minerals all the time. One of the things we can do is if you want better health for your senior, then forget the miracle pill because it's not out there. Real preventive care includes the vaccinations or immunizations, the annual checkups, the colonoscopies, the bone density scans, and the mental wellness visits. And if your doctor is recommending a vitamin, they will probably recommend a brand as well because they have done their homework. So these things don't come in flashy packaging, and they work because they've been vetted by your senior's doctor who specializes hopefully in senior care like you do. Okay. So getting ahead of the illness is one of the best defenses against medical emergencies and unnecessary, of course, ER visits. So schedule in appointments regularly. I always saw my patients 4 times a year. I like that. I scheduled them 4 times a year. If they said, Suzanne, I really don't need to see you in 3 months, everything's cool, I just say cancel the appointment. I didn't care. I could see them every 6 months. But whatever was bothering them, I knew they had a standing appointment with me 4 times a year to talk about anything that bothered them. All right, finding the right doctors. Not all doctors are equal. Some of them are going to push your senior right out the door. So your seniors have to find the provider who's going to listen, check the medications with all the other specialists, explain the diagnosis clearly, and they don't rush your senior or you through the appointment. What this picture looks nice, except for one problem. I have a real problem with him standing over the caregiver and the senior and not sitting down and talking to them. Those little things, just sitting down in the office and explaining to them what is going on, even sitting across from them. And I don't even like a desk between us. I always sat down knee to knee, I called it. Their knee and my knee facing each other. I was facing them. No computers. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of healthcare industries just push you out the door and into scam products. So choosing the right doctors, ask around who likes their doctors, who has doctors that listen to seniors. And remember, medical gaslighting is real. What this means, and gaslighting, of course, is making the senior feel incompetent, making the senior second guess themselves. So when the doctor starts, well, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're just a senior, or it's just old age, things like that, No, that's unacceptable. Get out of that office, transfer to another doctor within the same practice, or so the medical records are all there, or do your homework and find a doctor outside the system. Cognitive decline. This is why so many people in um, Eastern Europe and a lot of things come out of the African continent, where they scam, and a lot of them are China too. But these hackers, they get your phone numbers, they can buy them. They can buy a list of all seniors, and they just start calling, and they call and call and call until they get somebody who says, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" And this happened again this week. A lady, she actually, they stayed on the phone with her while she got in her car. She drove to the bank. She withdrew $5,000. She shipped it and transferred it into a scam account. Gone, $5,000. And when she told her family about what she had done, they immediately stopped it. And sure enough, the next day she got 4 or 5 calls from that same scammer. So they know who they can scam. Same thing with any kind of junk mail you get, and you can let the post office know that you don't want any junk mail going to your senior, and they are to stop it, and they will stop it. So check with the post office and stop all this junk mail from coming in. These things, they are professionals, and they are very good at this. Doesn't mean that your loved one is gullible. What it means is that they just trust people, and they don't know who's on the phone, and they don't know, it's too good to be true. So get rid of this junk mail, get the post office to stop sending it, and then the calls on the phone, when they get a call, they are to call you. They are to call you immediately. Especially if your senior has moved out of an area code and they're still getting phone calls from the old area code. This is typically a scammer, so they have to not even answer the phone. Okay, so put your number as the emergency contact. Let your loved one know that they are not to donate anything. I actually had a police officer call me one day, or he said he was, and he was collecting for the um, police auxiliary or something like that. And I said, "Well, give me the contact information, and I will vet this myself, and I will see if you are legit." And they hung up on me. So, we're trusting our police to collect money for their fundraisers, and here was a scam. This gentleman hung up on me when I started to say, I want to vet this myself, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, and these phone call and text messages, "Grandma, it's me, I'm in jail," or these family emergency scams are very, very common. So somebody calls up and says, "I'm your granddaughter." There's also fake Medicare calls, tech support lies, bank alerts. Anytime somebody's asking for money, it's a scam. So scammers pressure seniors to act fast, not to call anyone. That's the red flags right there. So they're going to ask for money, tell the senior to act immediately, and not call anybody else. They won't let you off the phone because they don't want you checking. They don't want your senior to call anyone else. So just teach your senior to say, "You know what, let me call you back through a main number," and they'll hang up most likely. Or just say, "You know what, I need to call you back." The senior has to learn to hang up. They're very good at stopping you from hanging up. So just teach your senior to have him practice hanging up. You call and you say, "Help, help," and have them practice hanging up. It's a very hard thing for them to do, but once they get used to it, they'll know it's a scam. They hang up and call you and check with you. Okay, when family becomes the scammer, this is the most common thing I've seen over the years, is the hardest to talk to somebody about, but it is happening everywhere. Caregivers are forging checks, relatives are borrowing money or using a senior's credit card without permission. What typically happens, though, is I see the senior has more than one child, or they might have an only child and they have a niece or a nephew. Okay, but let's take the example of the senior has 4 children, and one child is living off the land. In other words, that one child just hits his mother or father up for everything. Now, sometimes this one child you're going to see is the caregiver or wants to become the caregiver because they want the accounts and they want to take care of everything. I'm going to be the executor. And they can actually get mom or dad to sign off with an attorney that they become the financial advocate or proxy, and they take over all the money. So you want to be very careful here. I've seen this go down the line as far as second cousins, third cousins come in, they swoop in and say, I'm going to take care of my great aunt. And all of a sudden it's like, who are these people? So they are extremely good at hiding this from other family members. And sometimes the senior just gives the money out of desperation, and they just don't want to fight. They just want peace, and so they'll give the child or the you know niece, nephew, the family member, whatever they want. Items will be sold out of the home. That's another way that they lose money. They will take the jewelry and sell it at pawn shops. That's another way they steal from the estate. So you have to be very, very careful. And many seniors say, well, I have child A, B, C, and D. And child D needs help now financially. So when it comes time to the estate and for you to all split everything, it will be split equally minus what I gave that child. Don't be fooled. That doesn't happen. I have never seen that happen. I have seen where that one parent has given to that child D, and ABC is still left to split the estate equally 4 ways. It was not designated, it was never written down, and the attorney cannot make that happen. So the attorney has to go with what the will says, and the will says it will be split 4 ways. It's going to be split 4 ways. So that is not a truth. That does not happen. So you want to be familiar with that. So always, always, always have 2 non-family eyes on financial documents. What I mean by that is I need you to think about having an attorney and maybe somebody at the bank watching, or if they invest with a company like Edward Jones or JP Morgan, one of those companies, that financial advisor has permission to speak to you when money is getting withdrawn, when finances are changing. And then you also have to get permission with the attorney to speak to the attorney. These are all very, very, very sneaky, what your family members can do. And they'll do it at a distance. So you want to keep a handle on this kind of finance. I did a webinar, many of you are familiar with retirement meets inflation. And that's kind of the reverse. It's where the senior cannot afford to give gifts anymore. He or she cannot afford to go out to dinner. There's a fundraiser going on for the grandchild, or the grandchild's having a pizza party and a birthday party, and there's more money pouring out, and it's a way to open up a conversation. So it's a good webinar if you're a member of the Caregivers Freedom Club. You have this webinar, and it's a great conversation starter to get your senior to start opening up about finances, and you can see where they're at. In that way, you can work your way into getting permission to talk to their elder law attorney, and you get permission to talk to their financial advisor whoever is handling their finances. It's a great lead in when you watch that webinar. So I encourage you to do that. Okay, so family members, I can't tell you enough. It ruins relationships, and the victim often stays silent out of shame or love. They won't tell you they're giving all their money or they're leaving all their money to the last person who took care of them or the last person who came in and asked them for money. I have even seen cases where the family member takes the senior you're caring for. I'll take them out for a walk in the park. No, no, no. They're taking him to an attorney. The attorney knows full and well they have dementia, but that doesn't matter. The attorney is crooked. And the attorney signs all the papers over, and everything is left to this one person and nothing to you. You have to have an update. So let's talk about that in a minute. Okay, contractors. All right, you need a roof as soon as possible. Fake contractors are often going to target seniors and expensive repairs. I encourage that anytime your senior needs any kind of repair on their home, and remember, 96% of all seniors do live in their home. So anytime they demand that the work needs to be done and they need the cash up front, you're opening up the door for them disappearing without finishing or doing terrible work. So caregivers need to vet everyone. I like the rule of three different contractors in there, and you get the reviews, and you only give them. Now, this is the beautiful thing though, if your senior is going through an insurance company to get these repairs done, the insurance company has a list of vetted workers. And one of the things the insurance company will do is not only do they vet these contractors, but they stand behind shoddy work. So they guarantee that the work is good for X number of years. Okay. And if you ever have that problem again, the first thing the insurance company will say is, hey, did you go through our vetted contractor? And if you say, yes, she did go through your vetted contractor, fine, no problem, we're going to fix it. That's what they stand behind. So it's a very, very, very important that you call your insurance agent and you get these vetted contractors first and foremost. All right. So be aware. Another scam that you have, especially with roofs, is if your senior is away from their home for any length of time, or most likely they put their home on the market and it's empty, or it says immediate occupancy. That means that that means that the person, your senior, has already moved out. And then a roofing company comes in and starts ripping off the roof. And when the realtor catches it and says, hold up, that roof was not supposed to be removed, they say, well, we'll put it back on for $20,000. I mean, the senior is stuck because the senior has to sell the home. The roof is now ripped off. And that's the time you call the police. You document everything. You hold everybody, all the roofers there, and you let the police arrest them, because this is a scam that they do. They say, no, I was supposed to rip off this roof. Here, I have the papers that say it was, but nope, they don't have any papers. Or they say it was the wrong address. Oh, they made a mistake. And you have to get an attorney who will make them put the roof back on without you paying $1. Okay, they have to put the roof back on. Not guarantee it's going to be good work, but a new roof has to go on. All right. Legal and financial safeguards. Scam protection doesn't stop with just, shredding the junk mail. It includes power of attorney and trusted contract forms and account alerts and regular review of bank and credit card statements. These tools give caregivers the oversight like you need. So while you're protecting your senior, you have to protect their independence. You have to protect their money so they can continue to live in the lifestyle that they're used to. So set up, even if it's just a view only, banking access so you can monitor, check with their bank. So here you are checking with their bank, check with the elder law attorney, and check with their financial advisor. Most scams aren't very flashy. They're just slow drains on your senior's account. They are just slow drains. I'll tell you, one of the things that I see very often happening is when you buy something online. I won't mention any large companies where people buy online, but one of the things they do is if you return the product, they send you an immediate email saying your product has been refunded to your account, and you assume it has, and you forget about it, and you look on your account, and if you start looking actually for the return and the credit back to your credit card, you do not see it. Then you call the company back, and here's the thing I hear over and over again is they say, "Oh, I had to push the button." I don't know what that means, but that's what they say over and over and over again to the seniors I used to work with when I used to catch this. So they'd have to push the button, and then, oh, you'll see it in 4 to 5 days. Well, truth be known, they can return it in a push of a button, and it can be immediately pushed back to your account. Technology does that. They withdraw your money immediately. They can put it back on immediately. There is no 5 to 7 days, but they're doing that lag time so they hope you forget about it and they never have to give you your money back, or they give it back on the wrong credit card. They can do that too. So make sure that you always have your returns documented and you see that they are coming back. All right. How about reviewing this on a monthly basis? So sit down with your senior, even for just 15 minutes, and look at what they've spent and which new products have arrived and how their memory seems. Keep it non-judgmental, keep it simple. Just say, you know what, we're just going to do a check-in and make sure that we've got no scammers on your account. All right? And pair these reviews with something like an enjoyable dinner or lunch or favorite show, something like that. Make it enjoyable, not make it, oh, we've got to go over your finances again and this is boring. All right? These are just small check-ins that you're going to do. Any scammers today, because they do, they're going to get them over and over and over again if you don't check for them. So make sure that you do. And I'm not talking about a specific counselor and therapy here can be protection. I'm just talking about, your financial advisor or the elder law attorney. You can always call them. You have access to them, or the bank, you call them. I am shocked at one scam that I saw, well, one of many, but the Delta Dental, okay? So these seniors were going into this one dentist, and this one dentist was doing a deep cleaning. So my client asked me about this, and I said, let me call your Delta Dental insurance and find out about this and why they're not covering it. So I called Delta Dental, and they said, well, the reason we're not covering it is we never cover it. First of all, a deep cleaning does nothing but lay the gums open for the next bite of food, which gets down there and can cause an infection. And number two, we don't believe that deep cleanings really work because they're only good for, what are they doing? they're only good for one until the next bite. And so calling back to the dentist as the advocate for this senior, and I said, how much is this? And they said, well, it's $500 per quarter of the mouth. I said, wait a minute. So you're looking at $2,000 to do a mouth? Yeah, well, we do the inside and then the outside on half the lower jaw, and then we do the inside outside on the other half of the lower jaw. So we do 4 different deep cleanings, and that's $2,000 they wanted. No, absolutely not necessary. And it was Delta Dental Insurance who explained to me the dangers of this, and in talking with other dentists, they said this is bad practice. This is not what you do. So see, these are kind of scams that even professionals take from seniors. and get them to do. So ask always, always, if you're dealing with a professional and it's not covered by your insurance, there's a reason, and you need to ask why it's not being covered. All right, the latest scams in the news. What you do here is, of course, there's fake Medicare Advantage plans, and we know you always should get a broker. You should never buy health insurance over the phone. You never buy health insurance from the man or woman that's sitting in front of a grocery store. Groceries are for groceries. Health insurance is for professionals such as a health care broker. They go over and review all different companies, and then they discuss with you which company you want to go with and which plan you want to go with. You can also do the latest senior scams for, let's say, whatever month you're in and year you're in. That keeps you ahead. Or if you see any scams that pop up, like on your "we can't deliver your item, please send us your address." No, 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 no. That's a scam. They can deliver your product. They know where you are. Those are very common too. So they get you at the post office, trying to get in on the post office. Also, if your senior is a member of AARP, they have a scam alert page, which you can look at. But really, if you just punch in, "is this a scam?" or you ask Chat GPT, "is this a scam?" they will do all the World Wide Web search for you, and they will find the latest scams because somebody's posting them. All right. What worked 6 months ago does not work today. So you have to keep, every time you think it's a scam, check it out. Next, whether it's a text or a neighbor's recommendation or a new medication sample, teach your senior one golden rule. Pause before acting, get off the phone, call you or somebody else they trust. If you don't have the answer, call their elder law attorney, their financial advisor, or the bank, or do the Google search and find out if it's a scam. Teach them this: trust but verify. All right? Nobody really, if they're calling your senior without your senior initiating the call, it's usually a scam. Same thing with text messages, same thing with emails. They pop up all the time. There is a program in emails called unroll.me, UNROLL.me, and it's very good. You sign up for it, you put their email in, and you can unsubscribe to all those emails in one fell swoop. Every month I have to do this. I get so many fake emails. I have to unsubscribe, unsubscribe, unsubscribe. Plus, in my business, I get, every time I click on something, they get my IP address, they can find my email, and the next thing you know, they're sending me something. So I always have to go back and unroll.me all my email accounts, and I just clean them out. So they take care of that for me. All right. So that's pretty easy. But always teach your senior. Don't do anything until you've talked to me. All right. Then once a month, just do this scam protection. And just like health checkups and home maintenance, it works best if it's on a schedule. So let's say you pick the third Thursday of every month, or you say, you know what, after church on the third Sunday of every month, I always like to, when I'm creating a habit, I always like to attach it to something. So if I'm not going to remember to water my plants, there is no way. They have to be half dead before I remember to water them. But when I attach it to something, like when I do the laundry, I water the plants. Or when I clean the house, that's the time to water the plants. Or when I go to church, that's time to water the plants. Or when I do my grocery shopping, once a week, that's time to water the plants. So I have to attach it to something I normally have to do in order to remind me that I have to get it done. So just choose one day a month to check financial statements, update security systems, and talk about new offers and review any wellness plans and scams that might be out there. You don't have to do them all at once, but you can just review quickly and just get it on your calendar to do it. It's pretty easy. It really is. You're going to fly through this stuff once you've done it 2 or 3 times. All right. And then, as we discussed, watch out for those scammy vitamins, creams, and health claims. And again, full scripts, that's FULL scripts, have pure vitamins and minerals. That's the only company I know of that really does. Choose the trustworthy doctors, as we talked about. Um, Teach your senior to call you, get off the phone, call you first before they ever give money. And then cognitive, or give their address or give their personal information, all of that. Don't click on those emails. Do not click on them. You should actually have access to their email account, and you should get in there and unroll.me to all their fake emails. Get them out of there. Their cognitive decline is going to increase their scam, especially because medical records are hacked into a lot, and you might not even know it. And so if there's any diagnosis of dementia on those medical records, some of these hackers pay over $250,000 for medical records because they know they're going to make it back. So they're looking for dementia. So if it's on a medical record, it may very well have been hacked into without anybody knowing it. And how I know this is because you get an alert, but the alert is usually, we've been hacked. And you don't see that until 2 or 3 weeks later. It's too late. They have the medical information, and your senior will be targeted. All right. And then do those monthly plans. Just quick and easy, simple. Just do a monthly plan where you're checking, and I'll put that quick checklist below for you. Take care, and we'll talk soon. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always get a hold of me. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.